from?
It's from an old radio show where some guy was hiding in a chicken house, and the guy was running around with a shotgun looking for him. I guess he was messing around with his wife or something. And he yelled, "Is anyone in there?" And the guy yelled back, "Nobody but us chickens."
That's funny. I like absurd stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen
I don't think you're old enough, but you would have liked George Burns and Gracie Allen comedy. Gracie Allen did what's called a non sequitur humor, which means that her punchline didn't follow from the buildup of the joke. It was just a craziness off in left field. And it left George Burns with always just look of, what? She was a great comedian.
Well, looks like what's going on here? Let's see. Looks like OPT is giving us an offer here. Let's see. Best-selling gear back in stock. Sold out gear you've been waiting for is back. These items sell out fast. Let's see. What were we missing before?
Nothing.
So I went. It says HTTPS everywhere. Notice you're navigating to a non-HTTPS page, but the version's unavailable. That's kind of weird. I'm going to proceed anyway. And then I'll stop this share. And I'll share.
I can't help you from this end if you get hacked.
Yeah. I have a kind of extra protection here, I think, with the looking for this. It's not proceeding. Let's see, copy URL.
You know, there's a lot of hacking going on from Russia right now.
No, that's true.
We've had a lot of odd behavior on my cell phone and my iPad this afternoon. Things that couldn't get delivered and couldn't be opened or were off limits or something.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know who it was due to, but we just speculated that that might be what it's from.
Let's see. What's the big deal here? Mono camera for $3,600.
683 WSG mono mechanical shutter. I have one of those.
Really?
Yeah. The WSG is an off-axis guider. You see the arrow goes in, there's a little prism and it shoots up off the top there.
Oh, yeah.
That's where your guide camera sits. I have a 583 and a 683. The 683 downloads much faster.
So the real camera is right here, right?
Yeah. And there's a filter wheel in it. You're looking at one of the filters.
Oh. Well, that's pretty, looks kind of compact for the filter wheel.
Yeah, heavy as hell, but yeah.
Huh.
I've taken a lot of pictures with it. It's a good camera.
Oh, that's cool. Is that your main camera?
No, I don't have a main camera. I use all sorts of things.
The DLSR and
yeah, DLSR and EWA, or whatever it is, AWO or something. Single shot color, temperature controlled.
See, I want to close that. Trying to see if anybody else is coming in here. I don't see.
Well, they might show up later.
Stop sharing just in case somebody's trying to get in here. 2 participants, that is it. I need to look at the 2 donated telescopes that we got from Kelly Dodds and I guess it was actually from somebody else, and Kelly Dodds put the name of that person on the 8-inch. It's a Ultima 2000. No, is that right? Ultima 2000 Celestron, pre-2000, C8.
Yeah.
I think it's an Ultima 2000. And he said the only problem with it is that the planets don't come into, can't be controlled to go to because of they never updated the software properly for year 2000 problems. So
So I haven't
yes.
heard of any problems with Y2K. That would be the first one I've heard of.
Yeah, it's it's the old fork mount. It's you set it up with weights on it so it can balance it really well. If you put anything on it, it's so the guy who had it. It's a little old style,
Uh-huh.
but little hand control box, I guess. Little, I think it's 120 volt power supply, I think. But I really need to look at it. Gotta get out there. Keep running out of time. Gotta wash dishes, gotta get dinner, gotta
Oh
do
yeah, yeah.
gardening. Always something.
Yeah. And like Rosanna Dana said, if it isn't something, it's something else.
So you're thinking about presenting anything this evening?
No.
Okay, just hanging in here. I still have your
Yeah.
talk up here. Didn't close your talking points yet.
Oh, from Monday, from yesterday.
So anyone who's listening, make sure you check out our Monday programs and all our past programs, all on YouTube. You can entertain yourself for hours on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not seeing Mike, no Bob Richard, no Tim Crawford. Who else usually shows up here? Oh, do we have Ed Kolaski?
Yeah.
Maybe didn't catch him right time. Maybe we have to not do a weekly program or something. Maybe we should go every 2 weeks or first and third Tuesday. Oh, here we go. Tim's coming on with his funny picture. There's Tim.
Rainbow
Hi.
right overhead.
We were wondering if anybody else was going to join us.
Oh, wow. Boy, what
So I
do I got
just said-
behind me? A big old giant rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's a
just
good
sent
picture.
I just sent you a picture of today's progress on the observatory.
Okay, I'll look for that. In messages, Tom says, what the heck? Hit inbox. Oh, I gotta move that up. Breaking news. Temperature breaks 112-year-old record in Santa Maria.
Huh, what was it? Oh, just
It
for
was
that day. Yeah.
It was like 86 today, and the record was 85, something like that.
Okay.
So global warming's been going on since 1910 or something like that.
Been going on since before that. Just been picking up steam since 1910.
Yep, the trend is the hockey stick's happening, isn't it?
Yeah. The global warming started with the Industrial Revolution in the 1700s.
So I got it. Finally came through. Opened it up. And this is what we got.
Yeah.
So let's see. The box doesn't look like it's sitting over the concrete here.
Well, that's the path leading up to it. It's sitting exactly on a square of concrete.
Oh, it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Oh, that's interesting.
the witness poles have been moved off to the side. They're going to be dismantled and thrown away. And this is as high as the walls get, which is about 4.5 feet. And then the rails run complete. The wall will be 5 feet high, and it'll be the rails go out to the back to hold the roof.
So your roof slides out back here.
Yeah, it slides from right to left. Where you see one lone plant sticking up in the corner of the wall back there,
Yeah.
it's gonna the roof's gonna roll off until it all.
All right, bumps into that. So you will have a
Oh,
roof
yeah.
that,
How low of an angle to the south can you get, Jerry, with that
Oh.
roof? And
How, what?
how low of an altitude can you see? I mean, will that obstruct your view to the south?
but
No.
the south is this direction, kind of.
Right.
South is of the
So Jerry, is this north and south?
northwest.
This is
The box, the observatory is oriented with the one wall parallel to north,
oh, good.
the one that sticks up. And then
Oh, this is north this way?
I can't see your cursor.
You can't see it? Oh, the front wall towards the house, that's not north and south, is it?
No, see the part where the plywood sticks up higher than the wall?
Yeah.
If you stand at the left end of that and look down, you'll be looking right at Polaris.
Really?
So Polaris goes that way, off to the right.
Okay.
South is back this way toward the house.
Okay.
And this is west, going toward that corner back there. That's west.
Let's see.
And then straight out from the north wall, past this guy with the blue shirt on, that's east.
Yeah. Can you see my cursor at all?
No.
Huh.
Oh, that's interesting. I can.
Okay, so your box is north, south, east, west orientated, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that this is towards the street is north. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's northwest.
Oh, that's northwest.
Yeah.
I mean, the front piece where the plywood's sticking up, that is north and south.
Yeah, that wall faces, if you sight along that wall, that's north and south.
Right. Okay.
Boy, that's weird. I would have thought that that Sandpiper Golf Course would be off where your roof slides off, but I guess I'm wrong.
It is. That's correct.
That's west, huh?
That's exactly right. That's Cathedral Oaks Boulevard in the background. And that makes a sloping turn to the left after it gets past my.
Okay.
So the back corner, south corner, back southwest corner is actually west, west corner of your house, going right to Sandpiper, huh? Yeah.
Ooh, he's gone.
Oh, Jerry disappeared. Okay. See if he comes back. So Tim, did you have anything you wanted to present this evening?
No, but you know what? I would really like to. There's this thing I have. It's brand new. I had it in my. I don't even remember what I bought it for, but it's years old. It's a TP-Link USB adapter. It's a high gain wireless USB adapter. So I could show it to you.
Is it a USB adapter? You're not talking about a wireless extender.
It's not an extender. It's a high gain. So what I'm thinking. What I was wondering if any of the guys at Astrophotography could use it, because I think what it does is it gets your. I don't know if it picks up the Bluetooth. I imagine it will pick up Bluetooth, and you can plug in a USB into it. But it's an old part. It's a really old part, so I don't know how old it is. But I'm not going to use it. It's still in a package, brand new. And what I could do is just bring it, show you guys, maybe at the star party.
There's Jerry coming back.
Oh, okay. Here's the deal, right? Oh, I ought to get rid of this background. Oh no, I don't need the background. Let's see. Yes, I got to get rid of the background.
Well, no, you shouldn't have to. Just got to hold it directly, and yeah, probably so.
The Ruskies are hacking us.
TP-Link high
There you
gain
go.
wireless USB adapter. So that is wireless.
Here's a picture of it right there.
Well, let's see, wireless. So it's designed for wireless. You plug it into your computer. Oh, so
Yeah.
you can, so then you can, yeah, if your laptop didn't have wireless built in, or your computer,
Yeah.
which a lot of computers didn't have wireless what do you call it? Wireless built into an old computer. You stick that into the USB port, and then it would be able to pick up your wireless signal in the house.
This is what I use. And it's just exactly the same thing that Tim is showing. It plugs into a USB port on my computer. Bring it up there.
My question is, Jerry, is that I just showing this to Tom that I dug through my closet the other day and found this. It's brand new in the package. It's fairly old, so I don't know how old it is. But I'm wondering if anybody in astrophotography in our little group could use it. So what I'll do is I'll bring it to the star party and show you guys, and maybe somebody can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Ron Heron gets Jerry's old desktop computer running,
yeah,
that would be something where he could get the wireless signal. He wouldn't have to use an Ethernet cable.
That's a Bluetooth connection to your modem.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know if it uses Bluetooth or not. It's just a wire. I think it just uses the Wi-Fi, which is different than Bluetooth.
Okay.
It's USB
Anyway, it
2.0.
great.
It's not 3.0.
It's what?
It's the USB 2.0.
Yeah, that's what I have. That's what I use.
Boy, it's so old that it only goes up to like Windows 8. That's it.
There might be newer drivers for it. You'd have to test it, I guess. But
yeah,
if you
I'll
want
bring
to
it in because I'm not going to use it, and I'm not going to throw it out. I'll just bring it in because somebody might be able to use it.
Okay, yeah. And I'm thinking, our Vice President Ron Heron, he might be able to plug it into Jerry's old computer that Jerry gave him, and that might be
I don't think
some
he
way to
uses
get
that
that.
computer very much.
What's that?
I don't think he uses that computer very much.
Oh, not at all. He hasn't done it. I fixed up your laptop that you gave him, but I had to put Linux on it to kind of renew it, and but we've never tried it with the Zoom or anything to see how well it works.
If I could go and maybe what I should have done before I got here is sent you a couple of pictures. I wanted to do this last week, is send you a couple of my latest ronchigrams, but I'd have to look for it right now. I could take a little time to look for that and send those to you. I'd still really like to know if I could share content. Oh, by the way, guys, take a look at this. I don't know if you can see that, but
something for a guitar.
That's another guitar neck.
You're going into production?
Yeah. So
a few handmade models.
I'm actually starting another guitar, and we have so much stuff going on here at home. I don't know if you can see this with that light. The light's kind of bad, but
the brown laminate.
There you go.
Yeah.
The veneer, that's an Amazon rosewood.
Yeah.
And the guitar, what's funny is that the sides and back, they don't really match this. They're much lighter, but it's an Amazon rosewood. And then, building this stuff, I don't know if you can see it here.
Is there glue on the back of it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. But what you do is you actually build what they call a scarf joint. You take a piece of wood and then you slice it at an angle. Let's see, I can't get. You would slice it at an angle, 15-degree angle, and then you flip it and you put it on the other side, which is what I've done here, and that creates your neck angle. So you're taking one piece of wood and you're creating this neck angle, and that glue up is a real bitch. And what I did this time is I took wood dowels, as you can see right there, and I drilled and placed these wood dowels, because when you have an angle like this and you go ahead and you put a clamp to it, it wants to slide sideways. So, building a scope now, if if you go to the telescope workshop like we are, and you're putting together angles of pieces of wood that you're going to glue together, and if they're at an angle, you know, this little trick of using dowels to drill through and glue the dowels in with the pieces, it won't allow them to slide. So you get a pretty accurate, you know, build on your
Hey, so Tim,
let's say a mirror box.
Tim, it seems like you have a very long tongue that goes into the other piece to reach those dowels. I'm assuming you have a tongue from one piece that reaches in, and then the dowels go through that tongue?
No, this is actually this scarp joint. All it really is are two pieces of wood. What you're seeing right here on the outside, oh God, this camera I can't get used to. What you're seeing there are just shims of wood that I put to the outside. Now there's a reason for that. That when you build the headstock, in other words, the shape at the head of a guitar, it has a certain width. Well, the width of the wood that I bought, it was like 3 inches wide, but you have to square it up and clean it up and everything. By the time I cleaned it up, it was too narrow to accommodate the shape of the headstock. Mm-hmm. So what I did is I contacted guys and said, what do you guys do? And these guys that are pros, they actually said, just glue them on the side here. Glue them up, they'll be fine. But what you want to do is you want to borrow the wood from here, because then it'll match. You can see that what I did is I found another piece of Spanish cypress and I just glued it on, and it doesn't match at all. So what I may end up doing is actually covering all this with another veneer.
Just stain it.
Yeah. You know, like my wife says, you know, hey, it's, you know, this is details, no extra charge. You know,
but Tim, I still don't quite understand if the dowels are sticking through the wood. What is their function? They're holding the two pieces together, right?
Right. What it does is, Tom, if you just take the angle of realize that these two pieces of wood, whoops,
I see. It's not a tongue. It's just an overlap of the two pieces of wood.
It's an overlap of wood.
Okay.
What you end up doing is you cut at an angle. You cut at an angle like this, a 15-degree angle. Yeah. God, I can't do this. But you cut at a 15-degree angle.
What happened to your hand?
Oh, I have that stupid stuff on my hand again. It's just like a
space fungus.
Oh
yeah, it's just it's eczema or whatever.
Eczema,
it is.
Yeah,
but it's horrible. So I put just a bunch of Vaseline on it and cover it with a cotton glove liner, and it really helps to soothe it.
Vaseline works wonders.
It does. But anyway, the point is if you're building something like this and you have an angle that you're going to be gluing together, as soon as you start clamping it, it wants to slide apart because you're gluing it with an angle that you've cut. And that angle, when you apply pressure, just makes them want to come apart. So by putting these dowels in, it was a keeper for them. In the world of our telescopes, I showed this to Joe. It was what I've done in the world of telescope is you take when you're gluing up a mirror box, you know, or anything, just anything. If you're gluing up the altitude bearings on the side of the box, you go ahead and glue everything together and screw it in exactly where you want later to put dowels. But by gluing and screwing something together, it's better than clamping. You're really applying a ton of pressure. And so by the time it sets up, you just go in there and take the screws out, drill a hole the size of a dowel that you're going to be using. And you can use walnut, you can use, you know, maple, you can use any oak, you can use any of those types of wood. And then you go ahead and cut those to length, those dowels. You drill a hole and pop those dowels in and glue them in, and then flush cut them on the side of the box. The end result is just unbelievably nice looking bearings that have these little dots on the side.
So Tim, did you actually have screws at first before the dowels?
Yes, that's what you do. And on this, in this case, on this one, I could have done that. But what I had to do, I would have had to countersink this too deep to use the screws, because you have to put these two pieces of boards on each side here to clamp them, to get them to clamp, and the screws would have stood proud and they would have created a problem. But yeah, if you technically could use the screws to fix them. And but again, this is a scarf joint that's an angle like this. Parts of it are thin, parts of it are thick. And the place where I placed, in this case, where I placed the dowels, later on, there's going to be a slot here and a slot over here where the tuning pegs are.
Yeah.
So, you know, whenever you do this, like say, if you're building a scope again, you want to place those screws when you're clamping something and screwing it together. You want to place it where it's either going to be not used at a later time. You know, I can give you a perfect example of this. When I made bearings, when you're going to take two pieces of plywood and you glue them together, and later on you're going to come with your router and you're going to cut circles. So you're going to cut circle bearings, and later you're going to put Teflon and Formica. You can be putting Formica on the outside of the bearings. You've seen these on all the dogs. They work like that. But a really great way to glue these up is put the screws where you can put dowels later. Where you want to get the clamping pressure is where these rings are going to be located on the outer side of these rings. The latest 8-inch that I built, I blew it. I put the screws on the inside, thinking that, oh, I'm just going to shit can this, you know. So I put the screws on the inside of the diameter of these altitude bearings, thinking, oh yeah, well, I'm just going to cut them out. This is going to create a circle. No, you want to put them on the outside of the pressure where these rings are going to be put together. You want a lot of pressure there. So put your screws in places around the bearings so that later you can remove them, drill holes, and put dowels in there. And it makes a real nice feature, but at the same time, it allows you to do really, really good glue ups on large bearings. If you have like a 16-inch stroke, you know, it's going to be a bitch to glue that thing together and put a bunch of clamps on it. That's going to put enough pressure on these pieces of plywood to make it glue up. And the answer is use these screws, because then you can have a huge bearing. But as long as you have the screws on the outside where your ring is going to be, you're there. I showed that technique to Joe and he just loves it. So just saying. Holy mackerel. That's a nice one.
That needs some pegs.
Boy, you know, there's a guy that I met in town, Jim, what was his last name? Jim, oh God, I can't think of his last name. I always forget his name. And he's been fixing guitars since, I guess, the 60s, maybe even late 50s. And the rumors that I heard about this guy is that he had all these really heavy duty. Oh, there you go. You see the little scarf joint there? Where you see where the diagonal line is and where the guy's clamped it up there? Now, if you do a clamp job there, and the more pressure you apply to those clamps, that joint is going to want to slide apart. So you have to have something that's going to keep that thing so it doesn't slide. And there's two possibilities. You can either create stops at the end of each end that won't allow it to go any further, or else you can put these little dowels in. You can see where this guy used something there, those little gold knobs are, yeah, there they are right there. He used those to stop. And you can see where he has the little pencil lines on the side of the scarf joint. And when you finally glue that up, you don't want that to move.
Yeah, pretty smart.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other details, like especially with guitar, when you take the grain direction. So there's weaknesses in grain direction in wood, but you don't have to worry about that in scopes. You don't have to worry about it. It's not that important. In a guitar, it's going to be a little bit more important because the stresses on the neck are going to be significantly more than a telescope.
Is this part of the guitar, I wonder?
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. Some of these
Right.
guys, they build like, I mean, they're wicked, man. They're from the deep South, and of course, this guy, South Dakota, you never know.
The deep Midwest. Cigar
Tom
box
Whittemore.
guitar. Oh, so it's a cigar box guitar.
A cigar box guitar. There you go.
There it is. Hmm. So just a tiny thing. Okay.
Yeah, for me, I just don't, there's a lot of guys that build really weird stuff, and that's not for me.
Very cool. I was telling Jerry I just got a Ultima 2000 Celestron C8 in, a donation that which we may present to the museum to Jenna Roll, whatever her name is, education manager, that she was looking for a telescope. So I've got to test it out and see if it works, how it works.
Oh, wow.
See if she wants it. I also got a 5-inch SCT Celestron in as well. It's not a Maxutov, it's a 5-inch SCT. So that's,
I didn't know they made them that small.
yeah, I think it's probably an fairly old version, but
Yeah.
it looks good. In fact, let's see. I have it right here.
Oh, nice.
Huh.
Piece of tape is, I'm not sure. Where's that tape on there? Just a piece of tape. But it's got the visual back that could be taken off. I'm not sure if a 2-inch eyepiece could be put on it, possibly.
Mhm.
It's designed for 1.25 at the moment, I guess.
Just get an adapter, probably.
The metal cover. It's got a serial number 71597, so it might be 1971. Looks like very, very clean inside. Very clean.
Your background is there. You go.
Yeah. Let's see if I can do this.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That looks really clean, Tom.
Yeah.
It's not collimated.
How can you tell that?
How can you tell?
Because when you accidentally pass through concentric, there's more of the main mirror showing on the bottom than on the top.
Oh, okay.
See that?
Interesting.
So the main
Interesting.
mirror needs to be tilted.
Maybe you got to take it apart and
Tight,
never
no,
get
there
it
should be a
collimated.
screw on the outside. You just tighten the screw on the outside and it should work.
Tighten which screw?
Aren't there 3 alignment screws on the back of the scope?
Yeah. In the end. Yeah.
On the back.
On this end, on the
No,
front.
no, the other end.
Oh, really?
No,
It's
no,
the main
no.
mirror. It's the main mirror that's tilted wrong. Oh, there's nothing back there. Probably have to take the back off then and tilt it somehow.
Yeah, I'll test it out and see what happens.
I thought they did that from the front end, Jerry.
I mean,
They look from the front end, but you have to look at it. You have to tilt both the mirror, primary and the secondary have to be tilted right.
Oh, wow.
The
And this is
main
an error of
mirror,
the primary.
well, the primary mirror just slides on that tube on the inside, so I don't think
Well,
you can
It needs to be
change that
shimmed
tilt.
then. Maybe the tube is bent.
I think if anything, it's you can just align the secondary mirror on the corrector lens, and that's how you do collimation on it.
No, it's a primary error, primary mirror error.
Well, we just got to force the secondary to match up with it.
Have them both off axis, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh. That's interesting.
Huh. So star bright coatings on it.
Okay.
Say, what's
That's
the?
a neat little scope.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient size to carry around. I mean, some people might use this as a spotting scope with a camera, perhaps.
You think you might bring that to the star party, maybe?
Probably not.
Okay.
Oh, you know, Jerry, you can actually see the, like, there's a felt or some kind of, what do you call it? A gasket behind the corrector lens that it sticks out on one side and doesn't stick out on the other.
Uh-huh.
So maybe have been played with.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
Now I'll have to test it.
They took the front off. They took the front off and they left a part fell out.
Well, you know, if you don't put it back in the same place, that's SETs. They usually need to be put back the same way they came apart.
They have to be indexed. Well, it's too bad we don't have that little workshop just once in a while, once in a blue moon. We could run in and take that thing apart. It'd be cool.
Well, workshop is at whose ever house you want to go over to.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Well, I don't see anything else we talk about unless you have
No,
a topic.
I could go try to find those ronchigrams and send them to Tom, but we could do that again another
Okay.
time as well.
Tim, have you worked on your mirror at all, or?
No, I have completely lost interest. I've gotten to the point where I that's why I wanted to show you these ronchigrams. I think the last time I was telling you that I was working on it one day and I saw that there was something I could do to it. It just looked like the middle was just not right. And so I did this stroke. I was kind of a spherizing stroke. And I decided, well, no, I want to do, and I can't remember even what I did. But after about 10 minutes, 15 minutes of figuring, I went and tested it. And it just didn't look right. It looked like I had a turned edge. So I went back and I decided to really pay attention to trying to get that edge right, really put not going over the edge very much, but at the same time put pressure just to the inside of the edge so I could maybe smooth everything from the inside to the out. And I put that back on the test stand, and I could swear that when I got the knife edge in there, that I had that little angel's halo all the way around. And so I thought, oh man, my edge is there. It's perfect. I mean, now I got to be really careful. And what I should do now is test it. And I started trying to test it. And I didn't know if it's the light here or what. But I'm thinking what I might need to do here at home, since the place to test is fairly bright. I may have to create one of those tunnels that Mike Chibnik did, where you just take you take some kind of hoop and you just set some plastic over the top of it, so you have kind of a tunnel to test in, even during the day. And so I can get it dark enough. I could really see if I can't get to walk that shadow, that donut inside out. The last time I tried to find the donut, I got so frustrated I didn't see it. That's why I lost a lot of interest.
Tim, is that donut that's only caused using a knife edge, or can you get that? You're talking about a ronchi?
No, that's the knife edge. It's once you're looking at you can do it with the ronchi. What you got to do is you got to go right to R, and then take one of the lines of the ronchi and use that as a knife edge. But it's much better with the knife edge. And I had to get the right razor blade in there in the tester. I had some pretty crappy little razor blades, and finally found the right one. And one night I was playing with it, and I got to see the little light donut at about the 70%, the 70 zone. And 70 zone is going to be where you can notice it a lot. And so I started taking pictures of that, and the pictures were a lot more sensitive, which is another thing I wanted to talk about. At the star parties, Chuck has these little iPhone carriers that you can just hook a customer's phone into these this little thing that Orion sells them.
Yeah.
And they're about $35. I'm really thinking of getting one of those because, Mike Chibnik used to have one at the old workshops, and you can plug your iPhone into that right in front of your tester. And you can just, once you get that thing dialed in, you can just tap it and take pictures, or hook it to I think Paul Wynn turned me on to something you can take it and remotely trigger it, so you're not tapping the testing stand. But I don't know if that's going to work with an iPhone. I'll just be careful and just tap it really lightly. Sorry, but I'm really thinking of getting one of those for star parties for customers that want to take pictures of the moon, and at the same time use it for the testing here at home.
And Chuck has a long line of people at his telescope for take pictures.
That's right. That's right.
I think sometimes those iPhone holders or camera holders, they clamp on to the eyepiece. So you'd have to make something on your tester that would simulate an eyepiece that you would be able to clamp onto in the right position.
Yeah, I can't remember what Mike did. The holder that he bought for $1.25 at a garage sale. But just this guy gets stuff in it. I mean, and it worked great. He would just somehow he'd clamp it onto his tester, and you could put any iPhone in it, and you just kind of move it around, and all of a sudden you were up and running. You could, the focus was nothing because the iPhone would do its own focusing.
Chuck's got the knack.
Yeah.
These are clamping onto eyepieces. Like, cameras, they're camera. I mean, smartphones, the camera positions can be so weird in different places.
Well,
and they have multiple cameras.
I have that TeleView one, and I was thinking about using it at a star party, and it turned out that that's not going to happen because you have to hook it onto your iPhone. That has to go onto a TeleView eyepiece.
If you get the TeleView one, that's true. Get the Orion one.
Yeah, the Orion one's much, much better. It's universal.
Yeah.
So that's something I want to get, and I want to get it working in conjunction with this testing here at home, because it's driving me nuts. I lost a lot of interest in finishing this mirror, just simply because we just didn't have the space is just not made for it.
You have a garage that you can work in?
No. I literally have to set up. One of the only places I can set up is in a very much traveled space between our living room and kitchen, in the dining room, and it's right smack dab where everybody walks. And there's lights, there's windows and lights all around. So what I tried to do at one time is, in the earlier evening, like right now, set it up because I could use it. But it turns out my wife has been going to sleep really early, and it would really interfere with her sleep. So I have to kind of be quiet, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll figure it out.
All right, like Jerry says, not sure if anything else we got going to discuss at this point. What do we got coming up? Oh, we got Friday. Friday's got our meeting online, so I got to get an email out tomorrow, probably Wednesday, probably be a good time to get an email out notifying people of that. What else coming up? Saturday? No, it's not. Second Saturday is another week away. So just this Friday, got to get notifications out.
I'm going to ask Tom for Westmont if I can borrow their 11-inch up there. I was using that a lot, and I'm just assuming that he's going to be able to run the scope up there.
You mean the Dobsonian 11-inch?
Yeah.
We have another Dobsonian that's 11 inches or something like that. That's in the shed at the museum.
Oh heck, I'll just take mine. I have my 10-inch.
Oh, okay.
But what I like about that 11-inch up there is you wheel it out, set it on the ground, and you're up and running. The only thing I have to bring, I don't even have to bring eyepieces. Westmont's got this giant box full of Ethos eyepieces.
I've seen that, yeah.
That's nice.
Every single Ethos he made, they have. And Tom just said, "Yeah, just take one of them and go to work."
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right.
Let's take off early.
Good enough. All right, let's leave meeting. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Hey, by the way, great work on the Monday shows, guys. I loved it. I love it.
Oh, thanks for tuning in.
Oh, it's fun.
Okay.
It's fun. I love
Good questions.
it. Yeah. Okay. I will see you later. Okay.
Later.
Bye.